Hi everyone, welcome to update 8, I think, for Those eyeshadows. This project was created by Alexi. As always, her channel will be linked in the description. But first of all, of course, you might be wondering what is Those eyeshadows, although I doubt that people who watch this far into my updates would still not know what it is. But yeah, just as always, a quick explanation. It's a panning project, as the name suggests, that focuses on eyeshadows. Different people do it differently, but my way of doing it is that I have a spreadsheet that has all of my eyeshadows in it, and I randomly select 5 eyeshadows from it, which I will have to hit pan on, and once any of them have pan, they are replaced by a different eyeshadow, again randomly selected one that doesn't have pan yet, and that's basically how it goes. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. This is not like the most amazing update, just heads up, but we still have some stuff rolling out, so let's just get into it. But before we actually get into the eyeshadows, as always, I want to point your attention to the links in other links in my description box, which are to different organizations that help with the current war in Ukraine. So if you would like to help, they're there for you to access. If you do end up donating, thank you so much. It means the world. Any help is very important right now, so if you do end up helping, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say, so let's just get into the eyeshadows. Okay, so as always, I will be talking about my current color story from an eyeshadow that's been here the longest to the one that's been rolled in most recently. And to follow that logic, the first eyeshadow I'll be talking about comes from this palette, which is Odin's Eye Mini Erd palette. And as always, I don't remember when it was the exact month when I rolled it in. I don't know if I should keep track of it. Do you guys care about that? But I would say I've been working on it for about 3 months. And oh, did I say the name of the eyeshadow? It's the eyeshadow that I'm working on from this palette is called Past. And I've used it a total of 16 times. And here's what it's looking like today. I think you can see this teeny tiny speckle of a pan that's in it. As always, I know it's small, but it's a pen in my book, so that means that I will be rolling this palette out. Here is a swatch of this eyeshadow. It's a very lovely color, and in terms of quality, it's also pretty amazing. It's kind of like a eggplant matte, I would say, or aubergine. Is eggplant and aubergine the same thing though? Tell me in the comments. But yeah, it's a beautiful eyeshadow. It's a joy to work with, but I'm not gonna lie, I got a little sick of it because it's so deep, and recently I've been more into lighter looks, lighter looks, kind of like what I have on today. So yeah, this one has been a little of, I don't know if chore is the right word for that, but yeah, I was a little like, I had to make myself use it. It wasn't totally organic, if anything, with these project is, but anyway. But yeah, I did very much enjoy having this whole palette out, especially for this shade, which is called Time. I mentioned it in my previous update, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I'm wearing it today in my inner corner. It's a very pretty shiny shadow. So yeah, we will be rolling a new eyeshadow in place of past. But other than that, let's move on to eyeshadow number 2. Okay, so the eyeshadow number 2 that I will be discussing comes from my focus palette, which is this ancient artifact, which is YSL, very YSL palette. If my research was done properly and that is its name. But the eyeshadow that I have been working on from this palette is the first eyeshadow in this palette. This palette doesn't have any names, so I'm just referring to it as eyeshadow number 1. And I've used it a total of 7 times, and here is what it's looking like today. As you can see, there's no pen in it. Yeah, I don't know what to add to that. It's not my favorite eyeshadow because it is extremely hard pressed, so you really need to it's basically the polar opposite of past the eyeshadow that I just talked about. Because with this one, you have to really, I don't know, dig in your brush in this eyeshadow to get pigment. And also it swatches horribly. It gets hard pan immediately once you touch the shadow. So it's very annoying for this because of that, but here's a swatch. As you can see, it's like this kind of muted medium purple, or I guess deep purple you could say. It's fine. The color, I don't mind it. It almost leans neutral in some cases, which is kind of true of past as well. Yeah. Now that this eyeshadow is the oldest one left in my current lineup, I will put all of my effort into hitting pan on it, and hopefully by the next update I can show you pan. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it, so let's just move on to the next eyeshadow. Okay, so this eyeshadow that I'll be talking about right now and the 2 that will follow were all rolled in last update, if I remember correctly. But the one that I'll be talking about right now comes from this gorgeous palette, which is Musée Beauty, The Triumph of Venus. I don't know why I'm blanking out right now, but yeah, the eyeshadow is called Shallow, and I used Shallow a total of 9 times this month, and here is what it's looking like today. As you can see, there is no pan in it, but it does have a dip. I don't know if it will show up on camera. I guess this is not that of an angle, but yeah. It's a baby blue matte. Here is a swatch of it, and I don't know if you can tell it by the swatch. Similarly to the YSL shade, it's not the most pigmented shade. But even though it's not a very pigmented pastel, I still very much like it. You can make it be pigmented if you put it over a tacky white base. I usually use the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, if that's what it's called, and that way you can get it to look pretty, you can make it pop. But I actually been loving it as it is, just kind of like a soft wash of pastel blue. I think it's a very cute look, and it's not as striking if I don't want to make as big of a statement wearing it. Yeah, it's a very lovely shade. And as I predicted, I did enjoy using it. And I used it 9 times in just this month, which is pretty good. So yeah, no qualms with this palette, or yeah, both the palette and the eyeshadow. I really like it, so I'm very glad that I have more time to use it. But other than that, I believe we can move on to the penultimate shade and then replace the pans. Yeah. Alright, so the eyeshadow number 4 that I'll be talking about comes from this palette, which is Shroud Cosmetics times Batty Bean Hello Bean palette. The eyeshadow that I rolled in from this palette is called Woodsboro, and I used it a whooping total of 2 times this month, and so no surprise there that there's no pan in it. It does have like a semblance of a dip starting to form, which is nice. So yeah, here is a swatch of it. It's just like your average metallic orange, nothing too crazy. And if you've seen my previous update in which this eyeshadow was rolled in, it was like the one that I was least excited about, because if you don't know, I don't like orange eyeshadow. To me, orange is like the most boring out of colors, out of colorful eyeshadow, because it's like almost a neutral. So yeah, I used to love orange eyeshadow, like, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, but not anymore. So yeah, it's been, I've had to remind myself to use it, and I didn't do a particularly good job as I only used it twice, but I'll try to focus more on it, and hopefully, since it's basically fall already, maybe I'll be more interested in using this palette. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but hopefully eventually there will be pan in it. But for now, this eyeshadow just have to stay in the project. So yes, let's just talk about the final shade so we can finally move on to the rolling in part of this video. I don't know why my intonation went like all over the place, but yeah, anyway, let's just get to eyeshadow number 5. Okay, so the final eyeshadow in my current color story comes from this giant of a palette, which is NYX Utopia, the big palette, because there's multiple of them. I want to say like 3 including this one, but yeah, anyway, out of this eyeshadow I've rolled in eyeshadow number 31. It has no names, but there are numbers on the back, so it's eyeshadow number 31, and I used it a total of 3 times, and here's what it's looking like today. Oh, oops. I hope you can see it. There is pan in it, surprisingly. After just 3 uses, I did get to hit pan on it. So yeah, here's a swatch of it. I really like this eyeshadow. It's kind of like it's not a metallic necessarily. I guess it's kind of like a shimmer, grayish purple shimmer, and I just think it's very beautiful, and yeah, I love it. I think it's one of my favorite shades in this palette, and I kind of feel bad that I just had to use it 3 times to hit pan on it. I didn't realize that these pans are so shallow, but yeah, I've been loving having this palette out. I really like it. I think the color selection is very lovely, and I'm actually wearing a few shades from it today. I'm wearing this color on my lid, the green shimmer, and this in my crease and lower lash line. And I forgot to mention, but this kind of like greenish sagey green matte that I'm wearing is the shade Memory from Erd. So yeah, I love this palette, as I just said. So I feel kind of bad that I already have to put it away or replace it with something else, but yeah, I don't know. I guess that's how this game is played, I suppose. So yeah, we will be rolling this eyeshadow out and replace it with something new, which means we will be including Erd. We will be including Past from the Erd palette. We will be replacing 2 eyeshadows. So without any further ado, let's just do just that. Okay, so the Pretty Random app is pulled up. My minimum is 1 and my maximum is 1318. So let's just roll in our 2 new shades. So the first one will be, why does it keep doing it? Oh my god. The first one will be 1149 and the second one will be 398. Okay, I'm gonna go look what these are, and hopefully neither of them already has pan in it, and if it doesn't, I will show them to you, but if it does, we will be re-rolling, but hopefully it doesn't get to that. Alright y'all, I have both of the 2 new roll-ins, and I suppose this year my color story cannot not include an Odin's Eye eyeshadow. So the first eyeshadow that I rolled in under number 1149 comes from this palette, which is Odin's Eye Time Angelica Hella palette, and the eyeshadow that I rolled in from this palette is its namesake, Hella, and I don't remember which one is it, or which one it is. I want to say maybe it's the dark shimmer, kind of plummy shimmer, but let's just see. Oh, cute, okay. So Hella is actually this lovely bright bubblegum pink. Okay, awesome, this is fun. And looking at it, I feel like I'm pretty sure I haven't used it once. So no wonder I didn't know which one it was. Yeah, that's so exciting. I'm so happy. I haven't gotten to use this palette much, so I'm glad I got to roll it in because it's very cute. Yeah. And the next eyeshadow we have here comes from this palette, which is Baby Bad Beauty, right? Yeah, Baby Bad Beauty NYX and the eyeshadow that I have from it, or that I rolled in from it, is called Immortal, and it was under number 398, just to remind you. And I also don't know which one it is, but I have a sneaking suspicion it is the one whose quality I really don't like, because it's like even more hard pressed than the YSL shades, and it's like this brownie red matte. But let's just see. Oh no, oh, okay. So Immortal is a black, which I don't mind actually. I do find black eyeshadow very useful, so that's nice. And this is a pretty good black too. This palette, like the color story, I love, but the eyeshadows themselves are kind of hit or miss in terms of quality. Like most mattes, except for this one, which I said is like rock hard, are gorgeous, but the shimmers are kind of whatever. So I still very much love, this is like my perfect neutral color story. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to have this palette out. So let me just swatch out my new color story so we can look at it and compare it to the old one and all the good stuff. Alright y'all, I swatched everything out, and here's what I will be working with for the upcoming month. I don't know how I feel about it as a whole. It's not the most appealing selection of colors, but once again, as a standalone, as like standalone shades, I do like them, but I don't know if I like them all together. Again, there are some cute potential color combos, kind of like I mentioned last month, with like orange and blue, and now with orange, well, I mean with blue and pink. That's very cute, but I don't know how I like them all together. I don't know if it's much better than what I had last month. I don't know, you tell me if you like one more than the other. I'm not convinced by either one of them, but yeah, I guess that is all about this part, or about the swatches. So let's just finish this video up by discussing my goals, and then I can wrap up this video. Okay, so I just counted all of the pans that I forgot to mention, as always, I begin with my yearly goals, and then I will move on to my monthly goals. And if you haven't seen my other updates, I set my goal for this year to reach a total of 100 pans in my collection, and as of right now I have 83, so 17 more to go, which is I don't know if I can have 17, if I can get 17 pans in 4 months, so I might not reach my goal for the year, but that's all right. It happens, but I'll try my best to hit those 17 pans, but I'm not promising anything. But yeah, moving on to my goals for the next month, I think I would like to hit pan on the YSL shade, because it's now the oldest one, and yeah, I want to have pans in all of the 4 shades in that palette by the end of the year, and I'm pretty sure I will be able to do that because other than this shade I have only 1 more left. So, and the one that I do have left, it already has a bit of a dip in it, so I don't think that would be that difficult. So yeah, I would like to hit pan on the YSL shade, and I feel like I can also hit pan on Shallow, the blue shade, because as you saw I already have a dip in it, and if I continue using it at the same frequency as I used it this past month, I think I'll be able to hit pan on it. So yeah, my bets are on these 2. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to shake you. Yeah, I think that is it. So let's just wrap up this video. Okay, so this is all for update 8. If it is update 8, as always, it's in the title. So yeah, here's one last look at my this past month color story and the new color story. Let me know which one you like better. I personally don't know, but I feel like I'm leaning more towards this one because it has more diversity in colors, and yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to add. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing great. I don't know, take care. Bye.